Hi Aquarius, how's it going? I hope you're doing wonderful today. Welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm doing a 6-card reading for you. So it's a general reading. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. Always check your sun, moon, rising signs in case you have messages over there. And if any of this resonates with you, please leave me a little heart emoji or let me know. I would really like to hear from you. So the first question I asked Spirit was, what are you being called to release right now? And you got the Empress reversed. This is a major arcana card. One, two, three, four, five of your cards came out reversed. So you're getting a lot of protection from Spirit. So the Empress reversed is a very strong card for releasing, overgiving. It, it's a really strong card for releasing, overgiving, self-neglect, and the need to constantly nurture everyone else, okay? For you, Aquarius, this feels less like stop caring and more like stop pouring your energy into places where it isn't being replenished. Okay? So, what you're being asked to release is to stop putting everyone else before yourself. The Empress is the ultimate nurturer. Reversed, she can show someone who has become so focused on other people's needs that their own needs have moved to the bottom of the list. Okay? So maybe you're asking, like, are they okay? Or what do they need? Or how can I fix this? Maybe those questions are going through your mind, but the question now becomes, with the Empress reversed, what do I need? Okay? You're being called to release the belief that being loving means constantly being available. And Spirit is also saying release relationships that only take from you, okay? This card can be very specific about one-sided energy. So you may have been giving attention, emotional support, forgiveness, patience, affection, reassurance, time, second chances, and receiving very little in return. But the Empress is saying, the Empress reverse says you cannot continue nurturing something that continuously leaves you depleted. This could apply to a romantic relationship or a friendship or a family connection or even a situation at work. Release the need to be needed, okay? This is one of the deeper messages. Sometimes we stay in unhealthy dynamics because being needed makes us feel valuable. But when the Empress comes out reversed, she's asking you, who are you when you aren't rescuing, fixing, comforting, or taking care of someone else? Aquarius, remember, your worth doesn't come from how much you can do for other people, okay? Your worth doesn't come from how much you can do for other people. Release neglect of your own body and emotional needs. The Empress represents femininity, beauty, pleasure, creativity, comfort, and embodiment. But reversed, she can indicate that you've become disconnected from your own enjoyment of life. You may have been functioning on autopilot, doing what needs to be done, taking care of responsibilities, worrying about others, but you're not asking what actually makes me feel good. This card is encouraging you to return to yourself, okay? Rest, eat well, get outside, create something, make your surroundings beautiful. Spend time doing something because you enjoy it. With regards to love, the Empress reversed can be a huge warning against chasing, overgiving, or mothering a partner. If you're constantly the one initiating conversations, making plans, forgiving, understanding, reassuring, or trying to keep the relationship together, then this card is saying stop doing all the emotional labor. Let the other person show you what they're willing to contribute. And if you're single, release the idea that you need another person to validate your attractiveness, desirability, or worth. You don't have to chase love. You need to become unavailable for relationships that don't nourish you. The Empress reversed isn't telling you to become cold. It's telling you to stop confusing self-sacrifice with love. You can love someone and still have boundaries. You can care and still say no. You can forgive and still walk away. You can be compassionate without abandoning yourself. The specific thing you're being called to release is the habit of giving your energy, attention, and love to people or situations that leave you feeling empty or unappreciated or emotionally exhausted. Your next chapter requires receiving as much as you give, okay? Stop watering what refuses to grow while your own garden is drying up. That would be a good message. And then the second question I asked Spirit was, what truth is Aquarius not yet seeing clearly? And you got the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay, so what truth are you, Aquarius, not yet seeing clearly? So this is a very revealing card for this question. When the Knight of Cups comes out upright, it can represent romance, emotional offers, apologies, charm, invitations, and someone following their heart. But when it comes out reversed, the truth becomes much less romantic. So you may be seeing someone's potential, promises, or words more clearly than their actual behavior. So the truth you may not be seeing is someone's words may not match their intentions. So there could be a person around you who knows exactly what to say to create an emotional reaction. They may be affectionate one moment, distant the next. They might make promises and then fail to follow through. Or they give you just enough attention to keep the connection alive. So what this card is saying is, don't judge this person by what they say. There's a train. I don't know if you can hear that, but that could be just a extra little sign for you. Don't judge this person by what they say they're going to do. Judge them by what they're judge them by what they consistently do, okay? And if this involves love, then this card can point to mixed signals, emotional inconsistency, or someone who enjoys the feeling of romance without being ready for the responsibility of a real relationship. Excuse me. So for some of you, this could be someone who they say they miss you, but they don't make any plans. Or they promise change, but they keep repeating the same behavior. Or they give you affection when they feel like you're pulling away. Or they talk about a future, but they don't build toward it. Or they apologize, but they don't actually change. Or they may come in intensely and then they disappear. Or they keep you emotionally attached without offering genuine commitment. So some of you may have been thinking like maybe they really do care, or maybe they're just confused, or maybe they'll eventually change. But this card is telling you to look at the pattern, not the possibility. The reverse Knight of Cups doesn't mean another person is being deceptive. It can also mean you deceiving yourself emotionally. You may already know the truth deep down, but you're struggling to accept it because accepting it means letting go of the version of the situation you hoped would happen. You could be holding on to thoughts like what this could become, instead of acknowledging what this actually is right now, okay? That's a very important distinction. You may be romanticizing something, and this card is asking you to remove the fantasy from the situation. Ask yourself, if I completely ignored their words and looked only at their actions, what would I believe? Okay, because that question could reveal a lot. Because the Knight of Cups reversed often says that the emotional story you've been telling yourself may be more beautiful than the reality you're actually experiencing. If this is about an ex or someone from the past, there could potentially be someone who returns with an apology, an affectionate message, or an emotional confession. But don't automatically interpret someone else's return as proof that they've changed. Okay, a return is not the same thing as transformation. So if someone comes back, you should look for consistent behavior over time. Okay, not simply emotional words in the moment. If this relates to your career or life, the same message still applies, okay? You may be getting excited about an opportunity because someone has made it sound wonderful, but the details may not be as promising as the presentation. So make sure you read the fine print, okay? Ask questions, get things in writing. Don't make a major decision based solely on someone's enthusiasm. Aquarius, you're being asked to stop allowing emotion to override discernment. Your intuition may already be telling you something isn't quite right. You don't necessarily need more proof. You need to trust what you've already observed. Words can inspire you, or promises can excite you, and chemistry can confuse you, but consistent actions will reveal the truth. So the truth you need to hear is someone's potential is not their promise to you, their behavior is. Okay? Aquarius, the truth you need to hear is someone's potential is not their promise to you, their behavior is. And if a situation repeatedly leaves you confused, waiting, questioning, or disappointed, then the inconsistency itself may be the answer. Just gonna have a little water again. The third question I asked Spirit was, what is secretly working in Aquarius's favor? And you got the Three of Cups reversed. Okay? So I asked Spirit, what is secretly working in your favor, Aquarius? And you got the Three of Cups reversed. So this is an interesting card in this position because what's working in your favor may actually be something that initially feels like a disappointment or separation or a loss of connection. Because the Three of Cups reverse can represent gossip, unhealthy friendships, third-party energy, social drama, superficial connections, or people who aren't genuinely happy for you. So the hidden blessing is you're being separated from people and situations that were draining your energy. You may not realize it yet, but certain friendships or connections falling apart or becoming more distant could actually be protecting you. Someone may have been around you because of familiarity or convenience or jealousy or competition or what they could get from you rather than genuine love. And you may have been trying to maintain the connection because of history. But this card is saying not everyone who has access to you deserves access to you. And there could also be something happening behind the scenes, because this card can sometimes indicate people talking behind your back or information being exchanged that you aren't aware of. But here's the interesting part. It may actually work in your favor because someone's true character is being exposed without you having to expose it yourself. You don't need to fight. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to confront everyone. Just know that people are revealing themselves, and you're being given the opportunity to just quietly step away. With regards to love, this could represent third party energy, okay? Which means that outside people or outside influences have been affecting a relationship. So what I mean is, friends could be giving bad advice, or there may be someone interfering in your relationship, or maybe an ex is still creating emotional complications. Maybe someone else's opinions are influencing your partner, or gossip is affecting how you see each other, or your social circle doesn't genuinely support your relationship. So the hidden blessing is that you're beginning to see who actually supports your happiness and who doesn't. If you're single, this can mean you're being protected from getting involved with someone who comes with too much drama or too many people or too emotional baggage. And friendships are especially highlighted here. You may be entering a period where your social circle gets smaller but much more authentic. You could lose a friendship and initially wonder, like, why did that have to happen? But later you may realize that that person was taking up space that needed to be available for better people. This card, it says quantity isn't quality, okay? 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 shallow friendships aren't necessarily better than one genuine friendship. What's secretly working in your favor is the removal of distractions. People who aren't aligned with you are being revealed. Situations that create drama are becoming harder to tolerate. Relationships that feel one-sided are becoming obvious. You are becoming much more selective about who gets your time, energy, trust, and emotional access. And that's actually a huge advantage, because once the noise disappears, you can finally hear your own intuition. Something that looks like rejection, loneliness, friendship loss, or social separation may actually be divine redirection. And I'm just going to pause for a second and let you know that I pulled a daily card before your reading, Aquarius, and the card that came out was the dead end. And this is what they were talking about if you wanted to listen to it, okay? Divine redirection. You're not necessarily losing people, you're losing access to people who were not meant to go where you're going. And that's why this card is secretly positive in this position. The people falling away may be making room for the people who truly belong in your next chapter. You're being asked to stop overgiving to emotionally inconsistent people and start recognizing who genuinely nourishes you. And then your fourth card that came out is the Six of Wands. And the question I asked Spirit was, what is coming towards Aquarius in love and relationships? And you got the Six of Wands, okay? So what is coming towards you, Aquarius, in love and relationships? So this is a really beautiful card to get for a love question, because the Six of Wands is about recognition, victory, confidence, being chosen, and someone openly acknowledging your value. Okay? This feels like a major shift in the reading. So far you've been dealing with overgiving, emotional inconsistency, and possibly people or situations that didn't make you feel fully valued. But this card says that that energy is beginning to change. Someone is going to make you feel chosen, Aquarius, okay? This card brings visibility and recognition, so someone may become much more obvious about their interest in you, okay? So for some of you, they could pursue you more directly or make their feelings known. Someone might want to take you out or spend more time with you. They may give you more attention and affection. They may publicly acknowledge your relationship. They may tell you how much they value you or make you feel proud to be connected to them. Because there's also a strong confidence message here. You may be entering a period where your attractiveness and confidence become much more noticeable to other people. So you could find yourself receiving more attention than you used to, okay? You're not being told to chase attention, okay? Aquarius, you're not being told to chase attention. You're becoming the person who naturally receives it. The Empress reverse said, stop abandoning yourself to nurture everyone else. And this card is saying, Now let yourself be seen, appreciated, and celebrated. If you're single, this can indicate a new romantic interest who's very interested in you. It may be someone who approaches you rather than expecting you to do all the work. You might meet through social events, work or professional circles, friends or acquaintances, an event, a celebration, could be online or through social media, or a situation where you're already being noticed. That's if you're single. The person may be confident, charismatic, ambitious, or socially respected. They may also be someone who isn't afraid to show that they're interested. And if you're already dealing with someone, Aquarius, if you're dealing with someone already, then this card can indicate a turning point where you finally receive recognition from someone who previously took you for granted. Spirit is saying someone may realize that they don't want to lose you, and that realization can cause them to step up. But don't forget, okay, there's a warning here. Spirit is telling you, don't let words or a sudden burst of attention convince you that everything has changed. The person still has to demonstrate consistency. This is a wonderful recognition. This card is a wonderful recognition, but you still need to make sure that the recognition is followed by real action, okay? Still need to make sure that the recognition you're receiving is followed by real action. And there's another thing here. There could be someone watching you from a distance who has noticed you more than you actually realize. This person may have been hesitant to approach, or they may have been uncertain about whether you would be receptive. And as you become more confident and you stop chasing unavailable people, someone else may become much more willing to step forward. This card is saying that you're moving away from the energy of, why don't they appreciate me, and toward, I know what I bring to the table, and the right person sees it too, okay? This isn't just about finding somebody, it's about being recognized for your worth. You're being asked to stop giving your power away. And now you're being shown what happens when you stand in your own power. So Aquarius, someone is coming towards you who sees your value, pursues you more openly, and makes you feel chosen. But remember, don't settle for attention alone, okay? Remember to look for consistent action. So far we have released the overgiving, see through the emotional inconsistency, let unhealthy connections fall away, become visible again, and receive recognition. Aquarius, this feels like you're getting your confidence and power back in love. I love it. Okay, and then the fifth question I asked Spirit is, what major shift is about to change in your path? And you got the Six of Cups reversed. Okay, what major shift is about to change in your path, Aquarius? So this card is a major leaving the past behind card. So what this card is saying is you're moving out of an emotional cycle that has kept you connected to old people, old memories, old expectations, or an old version of yourself. Okay? The shift isn't just the past is ending, it's you finally becoming emotionally unavailable for what you've already outgrown. This card usually shows up when someone has been looking backward, sometimes consciously and sometimes subconsciously, and is now finally realizing that the past cannot give them the future that they're looking for. This is you, Aquarius. And for some of you, this is about a person from the past. There may be someone you still think about. Could be an ex. Could be someone you never got closure with. Could be a former friend. Someone you had strong feelings for. Someone you repeatedly gave second chances to. Or maybe someone you kept wondering what if about. So the shift is that you may finally stop waiting for this person to become who you hoped they would become. This card says, stop romanticizing the version of the past that never actually existed. Aquarius, you can miss someone and still know they aren't good for your future. You can love someone and still know the relationship has run its course. You can remember the good times without reopening the door. You're breaking an emotional pattern here. This card can go even deeper than an ex. You may be recognizing a repeating relationship pattern. Maybe you're figuring out you give too much, you get emotionally disappointed, then you forgive, and you hope they'll change, then you get disappointed again, and then repeat. Okay? Remember your first card, the Empress reversed? That was about releasing overgiving. The Knight of Cups reversed showed emotional inconsistency. The Three of Cups reversed showed unhealthy connections falling away. Now the Six of Cups reversed says You're breaking the cycle that kept attracting or tolerating those situations, okay? Aquarius, you're breaking the cycle that kept attracting or tolerating those situations. With regards to love, you're becoming much more selective. You may stop being attracted to people simply because there's familiarity or intense chemistry. Instead, you're going to start asking, does this person actually give me the kind of relationship I want? That's a completely different standard, and that could dramatically change your romantic life, because sometimes what feels familiar isn't what is healthy. Familiar doesn't always mean meant to be. And again, there could also be someone from the past returning. Okay? This card can sometimes indicate a person from the past resurfacing, but the card doesn't say you should take them back, okay? If someone from the past returns, you're being asked to look at them with new eyes rather than through nostalgia. Spirit wants you to ask yourself, has this person actually changed, or am I remembering who I wanted them to be, okay? A return doesn't automatically mean reconciliation. Sometimes a person returns so you can realize that I'm not that person anymore. You're growing beyond an old identity. Because this isn't only about relationships. Some of you are releasing an older version of yourself. The version that tolerated too much or needed everyone's approval, or kept going back, or feared being alone, or held on to people because of history, or felt responsible for other people's happiness, or struggled to let go. That version of you is disappearing, okay? And the new version of you is saying, my future matters more than my attachment to my past. You're going to stop asking, how do I get back what I lost? And start asking, what can I create now that I'm no longer carrying the past? That's an enormous energetic shift. The Six of Wands says you're moving towards being seen, valued, and chosen. And this card says, first, you have to stop looking backward at people who didn't choose you properly. Okay? Your next chapter cannot fully begin while you're emotionally living in the previous one. Aquarius, something from the past is losing its emotional hold over you. And when it does, you create space for something much healthier to enter. That's what the daily card was talking about, the dead end. Aquarius, you're breaking free from the emotional grip of the past, and you're choosing a future that no longer repeats old relationship patterns. Your reading is really showing a progression from emotional depletion to recognition to liberation to a completely different relationship standard. And then the last card that came out is the Page of Swords reversed. And I asked Spirit, what guidance does the universe want Aquarius to hear right now? Okay. Aquarius, I asked Spirit, what guidance does the universe want you to hear right now? Right now. What Spirit is saying with this card is to stop looking for answers outside yourself. Stop overthinking, watching, checking, and trying to figure out what someone else is thinking. Okay, just pay attention to what you already know. The universe is telling you to stop chasing information and start trusting discernment. This card reversed can represent overthinking, obsessing over details, checking someone's social media, reading between the lines, listening to gossip, or trying to decode someone's behavior. Maybe you're spending too much mental energy asking, why did they do that? What did they mean by that message? Are they thinking about me? Why haven't they contacted me? Who are they talking to? What are they Are they watching me? What are they going to do next? Should I reach out? But the universe's answer is you don't need to investigate someone to know whether they are right for you. Okay, their behavior is already giving you information. Just stop watching and start observing. There's a subtle but powerful difference there. Watching says, what are they doing? What does this mean? What should I do? And observing says, I'm going to just step back and let their actions show me who they are. That's a huge lesson for you. You don't have to interrogate the situation. Just let the situation reveal itself. With regards to love, so far you have emotional inconsistency. You have recognition and being valued. You have releasing the past. And now the Page of Swords reversed is telling you to stop mentally going back and forth. So if you're dealing with somebody who's giving you mixed signals, the universe is saying, don't chase clarity from someone who's creating confusion. If someone genuinely wants to be with you, you shouldn't have to become a detective to figure it out. You shouldn't have to analyze every text. You shouldn't have to monitor their social media. You shouldn't have to interpret their likes, follows, silence, or timing. Consistency is clarity. And be careful with gossip, because the Page of Swords reversed can also be a warning about information coming from other people. And this is interesting because of your Three of Cups reversed earlier. Together, these cards can point toward gossip, rumors, people talking, misinformation, someone twisting a story, people interfering in relationships, and information being passed around that isn't entirely accurate. So you need to be careful about believing everything you hear, because not every piece of information deserves your emotional reaction. So before responding to something you've heard, make sure you ask yourself, do I actually know this to be true? The biggest battle may be happening inside your mind, because this card can indicate that you've been thinking yourself in circles. You may already know what you want to do, but fear, curiosity, attachment, or uncertainty keeps pulling you back into the mental conversation. So the universe is saying you don't need another sign, you don't need another message, you don't need another person's opinion, you don't need to keep pulling apart the situation. You just need to trust what you've already experienced. So what are you being called to release? Release overgiving and self-neglect. What truth are you not seeing clearly? Someone's words and emotional promises may not match their actions. What is secretly working in your favor? Unhealthy connections and outside influences are being exposed or removed. What's coming towards you in love? You're moving toward recognition, confidence, and being valued. What major shift is coming? You're breaking emotional attachment to the past. And what does the universe want you to hear? Stop looking backward, stop overthinking, and stop trying to figure everyone else out. Aquarius, you've spent enough time trying to understand people who didn't give you clarity. Stop overgiving, stop chasing, stop investigating, stop romanticizing the past. Let people's actions reveal who they are. Your next chapter begins when you stop giving your mental and emotional energy to what has already shown you that it cannot nourish you. Okay? Your next chapter begins when you stop giving your mental and emotional energy to what has already shown you that it cannot nourish you. And there's also something especially beautiful about your Six of Wands in the middle of your reading, because the ultimate direction isn't loneliness, it's self-worth. So you're not being told give up on love, you're being told to raise your standards for the love you allow in your life. The right relationship won't require you to constantly question where you stand. It'll feel clearer, healthier, and more reciprocal. Stop searching for answers in someone else's behavior. You already have the answer in how their behavior makes you feel. Release the past, protect your peace, and let the people who truly value you prove it through consistent action. So Aquarius, you're leaving behind overgiving, confusion, and unhealthy attachments. And you're stepping into a chapter where self-worth, recognition, and healthier love become a priority. Okay? So that is your reading, Aquarius. Thank you so much for allowing me to channel these messages today. I'm sending you lots of love and strength. I'll see you next time. Take good care of yourself. Let me know how it goes. Bye.